Peter had his personal comments written on a card, but he doesn't pull it out. Instead, he speaks in his simple, winning style about Thresh and Rue making it to the final 8, about how they both kept me alive, therefore keeping him alive, and about how this is a debt we can never repay. And then he hesitates before adding something that wasn't written on the card. Maybe because he thought Effie might make him remove it. It can in no way replace your losses, but as a token of our thanks, we would like each of the tribute's families from District 11 to receive 1 month of our winnings every year for the duration of our lives. The crowd can't help but respond with gasps and murmurs. There is no precedence for what PETA has done. I don't even know if it's legal. He probably doesn't know either, so he didn't ask in case it isn't. As for the families, they just stare at us in shock. Their lives have changed forever when Rue and Thresh were lost. But this gift will change them again. A month of a tribute's winnings can easily provide for a family for a year. As long as we live, they will no longer be hungry. I look at PETA. He gives me a sad smile. I hear Hamish's voice. You could do a lot worse. At this moment, it's impossible to imagine how I could do any better. The gift, it's perfect. So when I rise up on tiptoe to kiss him, it doesn't seem forced at all. The mayor steps forward and presents us each with a plaque so large, I have to put down my bouquet to hold it. The ceremony is about to end when I notice one of Rue's sisters staring at me. She must be about 9 and is almost an exact replica of Rue, down to the way she stands with her arms slightly extended. Despite the good news about the winnings, she is not happy. In fact, her look is reproachful. Is it because I didn't save Rue? No, it's because I still haven't thanked her, I think. A wave of shame rushes through me. The girl is right. How can I stand here, passive and mute, leaving all the words to PETA? If she had won, Rue would never let my death go unsung. I remember how I took care of her in the arena, to cover her with flowers, to make sure her loss did not go unnoticed. But that gesture will mean nothing if I do not support it now. Wait! I stumble forward, pressing the plaque to my chest. My allotted time for speaking has come and gone, but I must say something. I owe too much. And even if I had pledged with all my winnings to the families, it would never excuse my silence today. Wait, please! I don't know how to start, but once I do, the words rush from my lips, as if they've been forming in the back of my mind for a long time. I want to give my thanks to the tributes of District 11, I say. I look at the pair of women on Thresh's side. I only ever spoke to Thresh one time, just long enough for him to spare my life. I didn't know him, but I always respected him for his power, for his refusal to play the games on anyone's terms but his own. The careers wanted him to team up with them from the beginning, but he wouldn't, and I respected him for that. For the first time, the old woman, is she Thresher's grandmother, raises her head, and a trace of a smile plays on her lips. The crowd has fallen silent now, and I wonder how they can manage it. They must all be holding their breath. I turn to Rue's family, but I feel as if I knew Rue. She will always be with me. Everything beautiful brings her to mind. I see her in the yellow flowers that grow in the meadow by my house. I see her in the mockingjays that sing in the trees. But most of all, I see her in my sister Prim. My voice is undependable as I almost finish. Thank you for your children. I raise my chin to address the crowd. And thank you all for the bread. There I stand, feeling broken and small. Thousands of eyes trained on me. There's a long pause. Then, from somewhere in the crowd, someone whistles Rue's 4-note mockingjay call. The one that singled out the end of the workday in the orchards. The one that meant safety in the arena. By the end of the tune, I found the whistler. A wizened old man in faded red shirt and overalls. His eyes meet mine. What happens next is not an accident. It's too well executed to be spontaneous. Because it happens in complete unison. Every person in the crowd presses the 3 middle fingers of their left hand against their lips and extends them to me. It's our sign from District 12, the last goodbye I gave Rue in the arena. If I hadn't spoken to President Snow, this gesture might have moved me to tears. But with his recent orders to calm the districts fresh in my ears, it fills me with dread. What will he think to this very public salute to the girl who defied the Capitol? The full impact of what I've done hits me. It wasn't intentional. I only meant to express my thanks. But I have elicited something dangerous, an act of dissent from the people of District 11. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'm supposed to be diffusing. I try to think of something to say, to undermine what's just happened, to negate it, but I can hear the slight burst of static indicating my microphone has been cut off. The mayor has taken over. PETA and I acknowledge a final round of applause. He leads me back towards the doors, unaware that anything has gone wrong. I feel funny and have to stop for a moment. Little bits of bright sunshine dance before my eyes. Are you all right? PETA asks. Just dizzy. The sun is so bright, I say. I see his bouquet. I forgot my flowers, I mumble. I'll get them, he says. I can, I answer. We would be safe inside the Justice Building by now if I hadn't stopped, if I hadn't left my flowers. Instead, from the deep shade of the veranda, we see the whole thing. A pair of peacekeepers dragging the old man who whistled to the top steps, forcing him to his knees before the crowd, and putting a bullet through his brain.